Hello everyone, welcome to Tutorials by Decade. My name is Decade, and in this video we are going to work on doing some tile maps and getting prep for the camera and the rooms. So with that being said, if you haven't already, please subscribe, as I have videos like this coming out all the time and I don't want you to miss anything. And at the end of this video, if you like it, make sure you give it the big old thumbs up. Trust me, it helps, and I do appreciate it. With that out of the way, let's get to it. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go to our sprites. We want to go to our world map, or our world sprites I should say, and we want to go to overworld 1. And we want to change some settings over here in the inspector. First thing we want to do is pixels per unit. We want to change that to 16. Filter mode, we want point no filter. And compression, we want none. Make sure you hit apply. And then we want to go over here to where it says open sprite editor. And it's going to open up this thing. And as you can see, Unity tried to guess where the sprites were, but it missed all of this. So we're going to go to slice and change the type from automatic to grid by cell size. And we're just going to change that to 16 and 16. We're going to hit slice. Then we're going to hit apply. Now, depending on how fast your computer is, this may take a few minutes. It's not going to take very long on mine, hopefully. But yeah, depending on how good your computer is, this may take a few minutes. Once that's all said and done, you can close this out. Now over here in hierarchy, we can right click. We're going to go to 2D objects. We are going to go to tilemap, and we're going to go to rectangular. And it's going to automatically create a grid in the first tile map. We're just going to name this one ground. Now, if it didn't automatically open it for you, we need to get something going on here. So for me, it didn't open, so we're just going to go to Windows, 2D, and then Tile Palette. And we're just going to dock this down here. We'll shrink this part because we don't need it. So now what we want to do is under sprites, real fast, we are going to right click, create a new folder, and we're just going to name that tile palettes. And we want to go back to world here. Right here where it says create new tile palette, we're going to click on that and then create new tile palette. We'll just name this one ground for now. We want to make sure it's rectangular, automatic. All this stuff is perfectly fine. We just want to change the name of it, and we want to hit create. It's going to ask where you want to put it. We're going to put it in our assets, our sprites, and our tile palettes, and then hit select folder. Then we're going to drag our overworld onto there and drop it. And again, it's going to ask where you want to put it. Once again, we are going to put it in tile palettes and hit select folder. And again, depending on your computer, this may take a few minutes. As you can see, it's going pretty quick here, so we should be ready to go here any second. And there we go. So I don't have a Mac, so I don't know how navigation works on a Mac, but on Windows, in order to move around here, the easiest way to do it is clicking on your middle mouse button, holding it, and dragging. Now, the catch to this is if you drag off of that, now it's going to move around wherever you move the mouse until you click the middle mouse button again. So just be aware of that. But what we're going to do is we are going to zoom in to this little guy right here. That's the one we want. One thing before we start painting, if you go to your scene view here and zoom out, you'll see this little box around your character. That is the camera. So that is what the camera is seeing. So for now, if you go to main camera and go to where it says projection, you want it to be orthographic. In size, you can change it to whatever you want. I find 6 to be pretty good. The bigger the number, the more zoomed out you're going to be. So keep that in mind. I wouldn't go anywhere beyond 8. 8 makes your character look that small. But it's your game. You do whatever you want. Once we actually integrate cameras into this, that's all going to change anyway. So I wouldn't worry too much about it, but just bear that in mind. So with tile palettes selected and with the ground selected, and make sure it says ground here, you have a few different options. Now most of these you're never going to use, like these ones rotate, the brush, which we should never need to rotate a brush. Ignore my phone. We have the paint bucket here, which will fill in a large area. We have your erase tool, and then we have the grid tool here, the paint fill box tool. Words, come on, I could do this. Anyway, so you have a whole bunch of different tools. If you want to paint tile by tile, you have the little paintbrush here. What I recommend doing to prepare for the upcoming videos is determine how big you want your rooms to be. You can and you will have the ability to have different size rooms, but for simplicity's sake, at least for your very first room that you're going to start in, figure out what size you want it, and then and then paint your room size on here. So I want to have a little bit of a bigger room because for future videos working on a few things, I'm going to need the space to do so. But again, it's your game. Do whatever it is you want to do. You do not have to follow everything exactly the way I'm doing it. But just bear that in mind that for simplicity, you want to know roughly how size you want your rooms to be. I'm going to make my rooms 30 by 50. So I'm going to go 15 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15. I'm going to do the same down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. And then just so that way you're going to see the next step that I'm going to show you here. I'm going to do this, and it's hard to see with all these things in the way, so if we just shut off all of that, you'll notice that our player is behind everything. And we obviously don't want that. If you go to game view, same thing, players behind everything. So in order to fix that, what we're going to do is we are going to create some layers. So right here under Tilemap Renderer, you're going to see additional settings, and you're going to see sorting layer. You're going to click on that, and we're going to hit Add Sorting Layer. And we're going to create 2 of them. The first one here is going to be called Ground, and then the next one is going to be called Player. Now this is really important to understand, and it can be confusing if you've never done this before, but layers are drawn in order. So layer 0 is drawn first, layer 1 second, layer 2 last. If you're going to have more than a few layers, whatever you want to show up on top, you want to be on the bottom. I know that sounds weird, but trust me, it's just how it works. So whatever you want in the background should be at the top. Whatever you want to be on top should be on the bottom. So once we've created those layers, we can click anywhere outside of that. Click on our player, for instance. And now in our player, under the sprite renderer, you're going to see additional settings, sorting layer. We want to change that to player, and I don't know if you can really see it, but the player came back up on top. So there it is. And then just for the future, we want to put the sorting layer of the ground on the ground. With that out of the way, I can work on the width here. So remember, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. And then same thing over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. Now, I could do one of 2 things. I can either fill in this entire cross, so to speak, tile by tile by painting it, or I can use my box fill tool and just go from corner to corner, corner to corner, corner to corner and corner to corner. And there's my first rim size. Now on the game view, obviously you cannot see the whole thing, and if I hit play, I move my character around, I can walk right off the screen, and that is because we do not have cameras set up yet to follow the player. If you know how to do that using Sin Machine, go right ahead and do that now. Otherwise, my next video is actually going to be covering that, so don't worry too much about it just yet. Now you might be asking yourself, well, what about collisions, like walls, fences, things like that? Well, in order to do that, we need to click on the grid, right-click, go to 2D objects, go to tilemap, and make another rectangular tilemap. This one we're going to name collisions. And what we're going to do for collisions is we're going to add a couple things. So first, we want to make sure our sorting layer is on the ground. We want to add a component, and we want to add a tilemap collider 2D. Now, as soon as you do that, there's a few options that are going to pop up here. We want to change composite operation to merge. And really, that's all we need to do, but I'm going to do one more thing just because whenever you go to add like smaller collisions, this will actually help, and that is a composite collider 2D. And whenever you add the composite collider 2D, it's automatically going to add a rigid body 2D. So make sure you change the body type to static, so that way it does not move at all. And then for the composite collider 2D, you don't need to do anything here. What this does, if you take, say, this little rock right here, and you add a whole bunch of them separately, it'll actually, the tile map won't do anything with the single object out in the open, whereas the composite collider will, and it'll essentially make them one thing instead of three separate things, or however many you put out there. You don't need to do this, but it will help with some performance. So if you plan on having a bunch of little collidable objects on your map, definitely do the composite collider. Otherwise, the tilemap collider 2D will work just fine. With that out of the way, let's make a collidable object. So we're going to take this little log here, and this should have automatically switched to collisions. If not, you just click on the little drop down and you have ground and collisions. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this log and we'll just put it right here. There's one piece of it. There's another. You know what? We'll go out a little bit further, and then there we go. That looks kind of weird. So we'll just use the erase tool and we'll just put the end on it right there. There we go. So what this has done is it has created a collision object. Now, it's kind of hard to tell, but if you see this little orange outline, because we are doing merge here, it made this one big object. Whereas if we had none, I don't know if you were able to see these little lines pop in here, but these are now three separate objects. We don't want that. For a 2D game like this, depending on how big and crazy you go with it, it shouldn't matter too much for performance. But you want to get into the habit of doing things that help improve performance. So we're just going to merge those items, and there we go. And then to test to see if they're working, well, first we need to add a rigid body 2D and a box collider to your player if you haven't done so already. Now, what I would do with that box collider, instead of having a massive box collider like this, I don't know how well you can see it, but it's this big green line that is 2 tiles tall. Because remember, our character is 16 wide, 32 tall. So the box collider automatically went that size too. Well, we want to drag the box collider down. So these little squares here, again, I don't know how well you can see them, but if you click on them and drag them, you can adjust the size. And we want the box collider to be about the size of the player's feet and legs. So something on the lines of that. If you have all that stuff in place and we hit play, now we'll be able to move around, and for whatever reason, oh, I know why it's doing that. So, with layers, what we need to do is we need to adjust the layers. So I believe it's 1, order in layer 1, or do I need to flip that around? Nope, we're good. So order in layer on the collisions, you want to make that 1, and then your object will show up. And there you go. So you'll be able to walk into objects. So this is as far as I'm going to go with this video. You'll notice this blue little line here. We'll take care of that in a later video as well. In the next video, we are going to work on our camera following our player. The video after that, we are likely going to work on rooms and the camera following the player from one room to another. And then we're going to just build from there. We'll eventually add enemies, treasure chest, transitions, and a whole bunch of different things. So yeah, again, if you like this video, make sure you give it the big old thumbs up. As I just described, I'm going to have videos coming out that go a little bit further than this, so please subscribe so you don't miss any of those videos. And as always, have a good one, and I'll see you on the next one. I forgot to add the thank you in there, so I'm going to do that too. Thank you. Have a good one, and I'll see you on the next one.